it's Danielle and I am back with my week 6 of Project Life. I'm just starting out by getting all of my photos down where I want them and organizing my cards in the spaces that I think looks best. I'm using some One Little Bird printable cards again this week, and I just can't seem to stop using those. I've really been enjoying them, and every set that I buy I think just looks super cute. I'll go ahead and link down below to the sets that I'm using today. I also use some Tracy Larson templates, so I will link to her shop as well. But if you had any questions about the products that I'm using today, feel free to go ahead and leave a comment and I will do my best to answer those. So I'm going to start out with my title card. I usually start my process out with the title card. It's just fast and easy, and I pretty much do the same thing every week, so I know what I'm going to be doing. Just using some black Memento ink, and I'm also using my Project Life Roll-A-Date stamp. A lot of times for me with these stamps, they look a little crooked. I've gotten to the point where I don't usually try to make them that straight, but I think this week turned out pretty good. They're nice and even and straight, and looks the way I want them to look. So that was good. The next set of cards I pull out is this photo of my kitchen drawer full of syringes. And then I'm taking just a plain white card and I'm going to layer this green piece of polka dot paper on top of it. That is just a card that I cut up to use throughout my week. Now I think about using some of these cork shapes because I think they look pretty cute. But I also pulled out some gold embellishments to use as well, and I finally decided to use the gold because I just think it's Valentine's week and gold is a little bit more fancy and special, so I decided it would be a good week to use some gold accents. Plus we got these chipboard hearts in our Studio Calico kit this month, and so I just figured it would be a great week to use these up. I just layered that heart right on top of that green paper, and then I'm just going to journal really quick about this drawer full of syringes. I'm sure a lot of you, if you've seen my past videos, know that my daughter has a feeding tube and that she's getting it taken out. And this week I really went through our house and organized all of the feeding supplies that we won't be using anymore. But I just couldn't stand to get rid of those syringes for some reason. So I just found a drawer in my kitchen and I'll just keep them in there. Maybe I'll use them in the future. All right, this card is just a photo of my daughter in the car after a day of shopping. It's just all of our bags are right there by her. It's super cute. And I just write a real quick, love my little shopping buddy on that card. Now, this group of photos are some that I took when we were at my parents' house this weekend. My daughter stayed at my parents' house the whole weekend, and we were there for a lot of the time as well. But when we were there, she brought over all of her fingernail polish, and she had to paint everybody's nails, including the dogs. So that group of 4 photos is just her painting nails. And then this photo down below that I'm just put that label on. This is just a photo of my dad and my husband. My dad's making his shop a little bigger, and so he's been working hard on that. So my husband was helping where he could while we were there visiting. Now this cream color card with these corally and yellow flowers on it is probably my favorite card this week. I just think it's so pretty and cute. I'm thinking about using one of these gold word stickers on them, and these are from Maggie Holmes. I got them quite a while ago for a class I took for Big Picture. I pull off this one that says adorable because I think it really fits those photos of my daughter painting everybody's nails. And then I'm just going to jot down real quick how something about how London had fun painting everybody's nails while we were there. All right, the next couple cards and photos that I'm going to be pulling out is just talking about our Valentine's weekend. I knew what kind of things I wanted to say on these cards, but I wasn't wasn't totally positive on what direction I wanted to take. I struggle a little bit there. That little piece that says favorite from today, I was going to put it on the white card, but I decided I liked it best on that photo of me and my husband. And then on this white card, I struggle a little bit. I first just outline it thinking that would be good. I then pull out these gold words again, thinking there might be one on there I want to use, but I decide against that. Then I just write on this card Valentine's Day 2014 and was going to maybe write down some highlights of the weekend. And I decide that I don't totally love that. And then I bring in this green paper because I did use it on the other side, and I thought that it looked kind of, it was a pretty bold pattern, and so I thought I needed to bring it somewhere else into the layout. Otherwise, it just stuck out too much. So I didn't know quite where to go with that card, so I knew that I was going to write about mine and my husband's Valentine's date on this circle journal card, and I just wrote what we did on Saturday night. We just went out to dinner and did some shopping and went to dessert, and just then finished off with a late night movie. Since my daughter was at my mom's house, we didn't have to be home at a certain time or anything, so we went to a late movie. It was just a nice evening. So I get that done, and then I concentrate on this other card. I decide to write down, I think I did Heart Day 2014 on a piece of paper, and then I just cut that out, and I'm going to back that with the green polka dot paper. And I think that this looks okay, but it actually doesn't end up staying like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write down about how, about these shoes that my husband got us for Valentine's Day. Every year, that's just what he gets us. He got me those really cute pink and white Sanuk shoes, and then my daughter those pale pink Gap shoes. And they don't look as pretty in that photo as they really are. They're just a really pale pink, and then they have little star cutouts from them. They're super cute. I can't wait for her to wear them. And then this year he actually got us a lot more goodies, which he usually doesn't get, and it kind of makes me feel bad when he goes overboard, but he's just always super thoughtful, and it was a nice surprise for both of us. But I decided that I didn't like that Heart Day 2014, and so I pulled out this Felicity Jane stamp that came in this last month's kit. It's the You and Me kit, and this stamp says, "We've got a good thing," which we definitely do with my husband. He's a really good daddy and a really good husband. So I decide that I like that much better. So I just pull this off and then tape it all back together and trim it down and then put it back on the card. And overall, I think that that looks much better. So once I get that back down on the card, I finish up my journaling, and then I pull out my next set of cards. So this is a photo of my daughter that I took on Valentine's Day, and on this smaller card, I'm going to pull out that Felicity Jane stamp out again, and I'm going to use all the little letters to spell out 1 year later. And I'm using some Hero Arts ink in Soft Cantaloupe. It's probably my favorite Hero Arts ink. I find myself using it over and over again. It's just such a good color. And I cut out a lot of this just because kind of takes a while to pull all those letters off one by one and stamp them. But what I'm talking about here is that last year my daughter had open heart surgery on Valentine's Day. So when Valentine's Day came, it had been 1 year. And so I took this photo of her, and I couldn't help but think just how far she's come. And you know, we're getting her tube taken out next month, and she's growing and thriving, and just really looks and acts like a normal little girl, and that's really fun for us. So I just printed off a photo from her surgery day, and then I'm obviously going to be pairing that with a photo from 1 year later. Just kind of a look back sort of thing. Then I take one of those gold chipboard hearts and I just place below that 1 year later. Then I pull out these gold Maggie Home words again, and I definitely want to get another one on there because I've already used one once, and I like to do repetition on my Project Life layouts. I just think it helps bring everything together, and I struggle a little bit with what word to use, but I finally decided to choose this one that says loved. And then I'm going to back that with some vellum, just make everything nice and soft and pretty. And then I struggle with what to write on that card because I want to write something good, you know, just write how blessed we are or how good she's doing. So I feel that I have a lot to write in a little space, and I don't want to say too much and I don't want to say too little. So I kind of go back and forth about what to write there. But once I get this done, I take everything over to my sewing machine and I just get some stitching put on it, and then I bring it back and I just lay everything out so that I can get a good idea of what it looks like and make sure I don't need to add anything else. So once I decide that everything looks good, I just take everything and put it into the page protector. And the only other thing that I'm going to be adding this week is the Valentine's Day cards from my husband to my daughter and I. And I just make my own pocket by trimming down an 8x10 page protector and then stitching up the open edge to make its own little pocket. And then I tuck those cards right in there. So whenever I have a see-through element like I did last week, I like that when you peek through that it shows like a fun picture. And sometimes that works out and sometimes it didn't. I would like it if it would look like this, but sometimes it just doesn't work out, and that's okay. But this is my week, and I just wanted to thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next week. See you later.